So what I have here is an actual Google Ads account. We've spent around 240,000 on this Google Ads account. I'm going to talk about a couple of things here, most especially what are the areas that you can optimize so that you can maximize the budgets that you're running on your Google Ads account. I'm also going to talk about a couple of like strategies that a lot of people really doesn't talk about. But as you can see here, if you are spending a lot on Google Ads, if you have been managing a lot of different accounts, then you'll start to find like a common pattern. Google Ads can really be confusing, and that can result in a lot of wasted budget. I'm going to show you guys a couple of things wherein it's a common mistake, as well as how to avoid these mistakes so that you can maximize your budgets to be able to drive results to your ads account. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So the first one that I want to talk about, if you've watched my other videos, I'm very big in conversion tracking, because with Google Ads, if you don't give it the right data, it won't be able to optimize. Your tracking has duplicate issues. Your tracking has conversion value issues. If your tracking is not being properly populated, then you will struggle with generating results from your Google Ads account. It is just a matter of fact that I am always like, most of the time, this is the first step that I look at. Like, what is the structure of their conversion data? I want to show you guys a couple of examples here. So for this particular client, if you're trying to generate leads, you're not totally concerned with generating like an e-commerce purchase or an e-commerce sale, because that's usually an offline conversion, meaning it's usually closed by a phone, or it's usually closed by in person. So sometimes it's a struggle to bring back that results to the ads account. So in that case, what you can do is, what would be the way that you can still measure? So for lead generation campaigns, it's usually a sign up. So you sign up to a contact form, and then there's a thank you page wherein you show that contact form. Now, one of the most common mistakes is people create multiple conversions, either a conversion on a submission of a lead form, a conversion on a sign up, a conversion on a contact form submission, request a quote submission, and these are like duplicates. Like this, if these are duplicated and you only have like one conversion from, especially for a lead form or for a lead contact submission, you only want to make sure that you only have one count of that conversion. So if a person refreshes that page, you don't want that to trigger another conversion, because again, that would inflate the numbers of conversions that you're having. Now, a lot of people, they don't add a conversion value, but personally, I want to add at least like $1 or $10 for a lead value conversion, and that allows me to just optimize and use a little bit of value-based bidding. Now, obviously, if you have like a higher quality lead and you're able to kind of differentiate that, then it's okay to kind of put a higher conversion value. Now, the other thing that I kind of want to make sure here is that you're looking at your conversion source. If you're using Google Analytics 4, meaning you've created that conversion data in Google Analytics 4 and then you imported that into your Google Ads account, you can totally do that. But you can also use the Google Ads tag or the global tag to create a conversion based on URLs, based on like triggers. So there are several options on how you can do this. So for this particular client, I'm using a Google Analytics for conversion event and then importing that back into their Google Ads account. The next one I want to talk about is just doing regular search terms reports. And this is so basic that it hasn't changed in the last couple of years. It has been a strategy that I've used ever since I started with running Google Ads. And the idea is really simple. You want to generate a search term report of all the search terms that your campaigns have generated. And if you look into the performance of those search terms, so the search terms is the actual keyword that a person typed in. Now, the keyword targeting that you're using, let's say you're using like a broad match or exact match. Unfortunately, with Google's new keyword targeting, your exact match or even your phrase match is usually not the exact words or the phrase match keywords that is going to show up on your search terms, which is why if you're using phrase match, if you're using broad match, you still need to check what are the terms that are coming in, and then you need to clean it up. You need to add negative keywords. Maybe, for example, this particular keyword, I've identified that this is not totally relevant, so I've excluded that so that future searches with that particular keyword, you won't be able to show up, and you won't need to waste your impressions, and which could obviously affect like your click-through rates and all, and affecting your quality scores. And the other thing that I also do with search terms reports is that I try to see if there are keywords that are really just starting to eat a lot of budget. So for example, this one, this exact match keyword is already eating a lot of like 273 cost without any conversions. Again, my goal, for example, would be like if my goal is less than $100 cost per acquisition or cost per lead, then that's definitely a high number. And so I want to monitor that one. I would either put that as an exclusion, or maybe try to direct the traffic for this keyword to a specific landing page that is more relevant for this particular search query. While we're in the topic of adding negative keywords, I also want to mention about placement exclusion list. Now, if you're not going to run demand generation or display campaigns or YouTube ads, then you might not need to add placement exclusions. But I don't know of an ad account or a Google Ads account that doesn't rely or that doesn't use any of those like demand gen, display, and YouTube ads, especially if they're trying to scale. You would need to use those platforms and not just the search channel, because that is where a lot of like the top of the funnel traffic might. Now, if you don't use placement exclusions, what would happen is that your ads, your display ads, would start showing up on locations that are totally irrelevant. So, for example, those maps, those mobile apps, is just low quality traffic. They will not convert, and usually they're not your ideal demographic, no matter what Google tells you. So, I usually just turn it off. I usually exclude them right away. Now, I also have a list of around 15,000 mobile or apps or websites that I've added as an exclusion. You can create your own list, or you can do a quick Google search of like a bulk site exclusion list that you can download and import on your Google Ads account. Next, I want to quickly mention about using negative keywords, especially when you're in the local niche. There is a lot of searches wherein they're not looking for services. So meaning they're not going to be like transactional or career related searches. And you definitely don't want that, because what you want are potential customers and leads, and not potential people who might be looking for employment. So that is one example of using negative keywords and negative keyword lists. I just love using negative keyword lists because it allows me to create, because it allows me to group certain keywords and then just add them to specific campaigns. Because if you don't use negative keyword lists, it can be quite chaotic when it comes to making sure that they are ordered properly and managed easily. One of the best things that you can do with Google Ads targeting is by using what's called the custom segment. This type of targeting is really powerful. You can create custom segments based on interests or purchase intentions of people. This is kind of like the affinity audience targeting on Google Ads. I have tested this out. I didn't like the results, but the other one, people who search for any terms on Google, this is really powerful. So I'll give you an example. Someone who might have searched plumber near me, but they're not currently doing it. Maybe they're watching YouTube, but Google has identified that that person has searched for plumber near me. It can still show your ads even if they're on a display channel, or maybe they're on YouTube, because again, it's a custom segment with that intent or with that ability or with that targeting that they search for these terms on Google. So what I usually do here is for people who are searching for, what I usually do is I'll just put in custom segment and then the keyword, let's say plumber, and then I'll type in plumber near me, and then it would give auto suggestions of some keywords that might be relevant to my initial keyword. So I'll add this urgent plumber. Okay, so this would be perfect. So even if I'm not gonna compete with this with search terms, so meaning I can still show my ads to people who have searched these terms on Google, which is again super, super powerful. The next one I want to talk about is the ability to create YouTube remarketing audiences. So all you need to do is connect your channel to your Google Ads account, and then you can create any type of remarketing audience based on certain actions that they've done. So if a person watched any video in the last 30 days, that's added to that remarketing list. If they subscribe to the channel, that's also added to the remarketing list within the 30 days. This can be added up to 540 days. So it's almost like almost 2 years. And then you can pre-fill this segment within the last 30 days so that you can get started with an audience list right away. Again, YouTube remarketing audiences is super powerful because again, you can direct people who watch that video into any type of ad. You can show up display ads, you can show up search ads, and you can also show up like YouTube ads. Again, super powerful when it comes to remarketing. So make sure you leverage this particular feature inside your Google Ads account. The next thing that I want to talk about is a bidding strategy that is the next one I want to talk about is a bidding strategy that has the ability to add maximum bid limits. Now, if you've used target CPA and target ROAS campaigns, you're probably frustrated that you're not able to add a maximum bid limit. So it sometimes it can cost as much as $10 to $100 per click, and definitely don't want that. So what I usually do is I create a bid strategy or a portfolio strategy wherein I can control the maximum bid limit. So all you need to do is put your target rows here. I just name it with what I am going to set it up, and then I put a maximum bid limit. So even if I'm using the target ROAS or the target CPA type of bidding strategy, and you want to use that because of the machine learning availability in those types of smart bidding, but you want to add like a maximum bid limit so that you don't overspend when it comes to these types of smart bidding strategy. Okay, so the next one that I want to talk about is the seasonality adjustment available inside Google Ads. So let's say you have a Black Friday promotion or you're going to have an upcoming launch, and you're expecting that because of the lower prices or like the big push that you're going to do, you would have like a higher conversion rate. And that can affect the bidding strategy because if suddenly you're driving a lot of traffic and then your conversion rates have doubled or quadrupled, then that could affect Google's machine learning algorithm, and it can affect like your overall campaign. So you want to do a conversion rate adjustment and just make sure that you either put a setting that you want to increase the expected conversion rate. Let's say you're expecting it to at least increase at least 50% because of that promotion, then you can definitely create a seasonality adjustment, and then you can put the dates in. Let's say it's a Black Friday week, you can put those in, put a date and time, and then also put an end date to when you would like to end this seasonality adjustment. Again, super, super powerful, especially if you're planning to launch out like these types of seasonality strategies and campaigns. The next one I want to talk about is the beta Asset Studio with inside Google Ads. And it's super cool because now you can create new images, you can create product images, you can remove backgrounds, you can bulk edit images, and then you can also create videos, you can also trim videos, add voiceovers. And this is totally free inside your Google Ads account. So make sure you check it out. Make sure that you try some of these creatives. Of course, it's not going to be the same as like the professional types of video creation. Of course, it will not be the same as professionally edited images and videos, but at least it's free and it's AI generated. So if you're not against any of these things, I highly recommend that you check it out. It's under the tools. It's under tools and then Asset Studio. And then just click on the beta here and then it will open up to this window. The next one that I want to talk about is the creator partnership. The next one that I want to talk about is the creator partnership inside Google Ads. And this allows you to, let's say you have a collaboration with a YouTube influencer and you want to promote their video in your channel, in your Google Ads account. Previously, you're not able to do that because, again, the video is on a different person's YouTube channel. You either need to download that video and upload it to your YouTube channel so that you can create the remarketing audience list. You can actually create, like, you want to see the stats. But now Google has allowed like creator partnerships because it knows the advantage of collaboration and partnership with other influencers and content creators. All you need to do is link that video, paste the URL of the video from that creator or from that influencer. I've added an example here. So this is the creator channel and one of my channels. And then I just asked for permission to link this video. And now I can run campaigns and promotions here. And I'll be able to get how many views, how many likes, the total watch times, as well as the comments added. So again, super powerful stuff, especially if you're into partnerships and collaboration. Next, I want to quickly talk about combined audience segment. This is kind of like the layer targeting inside Facebook ads. So what you can do is you just create like a segment and then you can allow like this has to be this particular segment. For example, this is a custom search intent, searching for this particular keyword, but must also match any of these segments. So for this particular example, they should match this in-market audience. So they're within that search intent. So for example, this one, they have this custom search intent, but they must also match that they are in market for that particular service. Again, super powerful stuff. There are some limitations here, but if you want to use and you want to test out combined audience segment, they work kind of like that Facebook layer targeting wherein you start several interests or several, and you'll be able to narrow down that particular audience. And last but not the least is that with Google Ads, whenever you're running display campaigns or YouTube ads, you want to be able to check or double check where your ads might be showing up. So as I've discussed in the previous tips, you want to be able to exclude your placement or your mobile apps because if not, as you can see here, it's getting a lot of impressions, but it's not getting a lot of clicks and there's no conversions coming. So there is a lot of like those types of traffic wherein I've never almost seen the mobile app traffic to convert. Yes, you're getting a lot of impressions and even maybe a lot of clicks, but again, they don't have that intent if they're coming from this app. So really low quality traffic. And then you can also look into like the sites. If you've identified, like, for example, this particular website is generating a lot of like conversions, a lot of clicks, then you might want to create a partnership, or maybe you want to start a campaign just for that particular placement. A lot of things that you can do once you start looking into the data on where and where your ads have shown. So what do you guys think of these strategies? I hope you like this video. If you have any questions with regards to any of the cheat codes that I've mentioned in this video, please let me know in the comments below this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your comments below this video. And if you're wondering why your Google Ads won't scale and how to fix it, and if you're wondering how you can scale your Google Ads account to generate more sales and revenue, and if you're wondering why your Google Ads can scale profitably and not lose money, I've created a video on how to fix that. So you might want to check it out. Again, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.